And ask you now. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
If you could tell me your name, the institution you came from, and the title of your presentation.
Okay, so my name is Anjali Pandey, and I come from Salisbury University in Maryland. And the title of my presentation was Linguistic Capital, Languages in a Deterritorialized World. But in particular, I was focusing on language as a linguistic resource.
So I want to know about your experience here, what you thought of the different presentations being made here today, of the different people you've met. What was your take on it?
I think it's fascinating that we have interdisciplinary research. I think that one of the problems of academia in general is that we tend to focus mainly in our subspecialties, and so there's no interdiscussion between academics on ways in which different fields can help each other, learn from each other, and maybe even create new paradigms of analysis. So this is really fascinating to see how knowledge can be transferred across fields. That this is really very cutting edge.
So speaking of, was there any specific field or presentation that really spoke out to you that you think maybe in the future you could collaborate with your own professionalism?
Actually, I was very fascinated by Dr. Tessima's work on political campaigning, and in particular his ideas on knowledge management and creating a university of academics where they can share interdisciplinary information. That really fascinates me, so I'm really curious about that.
How would you think the environment and presenters here today even would benefit from such a conference and such conferences in the future?
I think that in general, in academia today, we've become so specialized that we tend to speak in the same language. And so it's very difficult for us to be able to break down our concepts in terms that most individuals can understand, and oftentimes concerns that are very important and findings that are important are hence lost. But if we could have forums such as this where individuals are kind of interacting across disciplinary lines, we're more likely to kind of understand each other and look at human learning as a resource for academics across disciplines rather than just academics and subdisciplines. I mean, today it was fascinating that we had a presentation on Ebola, and then we also had a presentation on the flu virus and then language, and we were able to make those connections within one panel. So I thought that was very fascinating.
So I can see that you're very supportive of the concept of this conference. What message do you have for the organizers? What would you like to see done differently? What would you like to see repeated? What's your general take on the organization? Any suggestions? Because that would be very productive.
I think that maybe taking the presentation to a larger global level, maybe inviting intellectuals from more universities, just expanding. I think you're just sort of starting out, but expanding it, opening it up to intellectuals on a much broader scale would really help spread the word of the need for interdisciplinarity. So my suggestion would just maybe be to expand this, maybe put it in venues where it's more accessible. Not many people know that this exists, so maybe making yourselves a little more visible. Those would be just some suggestions. Thanks.
Would you say you'd be willing to participate in the future such conferences?
Absolutely. Okay. With pleasure.
Thank you very much. We thank you for your time, for your participation, and we hope to see you. We're sure we'll see you at future conferences.
Well, thank you so much.